Introducing Zentrix AI-powered trading signals service. Tired of second-guessing your trades? Zentrix AI scans the markets 24/7 with powerful, proven indicators built to give you clarity. You get 200-plus signals every day on 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily charts. We cover Forex, crypto, commodities, indices, and stocks, so you're covered no matter what you trade. And the best part, you get all this delivered 3 ways, every day. Web alerts give you fast, clean access right from your dashboard. Telegram delivers real-time entries, confidence levels, sentiment, and trade duration. And email gives you the full breakdown, including 2 profit target levels and deep market analysis. Just hold $5 worth of ZTR. See what you can achieve with powerful AI trading intelligence by Zentrix. Try it now. And join our Telegram channel.
Okay, what's up people? Welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well. As always guys, if you're enjoying the content, please be sure to drop a like, subscribe to the channel, and of course hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you are interested, check out the AI powered signal service. I'm going to drop the link to the Zentrix community Telegram channel, which you can find more updates about the project and learn more about it, and more announcements coming up in the future. But if you are interested to check out the signal service, check out Telegram, go to the pin messages at the top, and you'll be able to see a link that will take you to the signal Telegram. So if you're interested, check it out, pin messages, you'll be able to see the link there. But guys, welcome back to another stream. Hope everyone is doing well this morning. Good morning, Ivan. Welcome. Hope you're doing good. CS Integrated, what's up, my man? Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Follow the trend, what's up? Welcome. Hope you're doing good. Gold side continuations from 33, 24, back to that. Yeah, I mean, gold was pretty bearish. I mean, a lot of metals actually did drop yesterday. I only realized this morning because I was mainly focused on gold and silver, but then I had a look at copper. That dropped. Platinum as well. That dropped pretty hard. Copper dropped huge. But yeah, we can cover that at some point during the stream. But yeah, gold's looking pretty bearish. It's still within the range for me, so we'll see what we can do with that. But I will take a look for you, no problem. Excuse me. Alfie, good morning. Hope you're well. Welcome to the stream. Poppy, what's up? Please leave a like. Appreciate it. If you guys are enjoying the stream, please be sure to drop a like. Does really help out the channel, helps push the content out there. So I am really grateful if you guys can drop a like. Does help out. Thank you so to everyone who has done that, and subscribe whilst you're at it as well. Dima, good morning. I hope you are good. So as always, we'll start with the USD side of things first. Take a look at the DXY, USD majors, gold and silver. Of course, any requests, any pairs you're looking at trading, want my opinion on, let me know. Of course, any specific time frames as well, let me know too, so I can be a bit more of use. We did have some news yesterday. And that caused a bit of a ruckus in the market. We've still got more news coming up this week, so we're only just getting started, really. So we're not out of the woods yet, but as you can see there for the dollar, very, very, very bullish. I believe we were trading around here on stream yesterday. I said I was looking for a pullback of this move here, back towards the 50, 0.618 area, anywhere between 98 and 98.3 roughly. That would have been an area which I would be happy to look to long the dollar from, or short euro if I can see a corresponding pullback, or pound USD, pretty much any USD pair for that matter. But no, the news was very, very bullish. It gave us some more strength, and now we've got a really extended, very, very bullish move, which kind of is a bit like a statement, because dollar has been bearish for quite a while, just kind of been slowly drifting to the downside. We were pretty impulsive over here in this part of the trend, and then things did get quite corrective over here. So since that's happened, been looking for price to see some upside, and now we've got it, and we've got a very nice kind of inverse head and shoulder pattern. There's your left shoulder, there's your head, there's your right shoulder, that's your neckline, and we've absolutely smashed through that. So that for me is the confirmed turn of this trend. Now it's about how far would this new trend go, because I would say the bearish trend is now ended. I'm looking at an uptrend here. It might only last a couple of swings before we do continue back down. That could be the situation, or it could actually be a huge reversal. Who knows? But I am looking at bullish dollar. I am seeing structure breaking to the left. We haven't broken the major structure. This is still kind of the major last lower high. So that's why I said price may still, continue a short while before continuing lower, because this is still our last major high. Price may still want to put another lower high in. So we could still respect that and head lower, but we have taken out the highs here. We have seen very impulsive momentum, which is a key characteristic as well, because everything here to the downside was just very slow. Now we're finally getting some more life into the market, and it is to the upside. So I do think we will see more of that. It's just how far will we go? 100, I believe we smash into that. Yeah, almost to the pit, pretty much. Yeah, more or less to the pit. So we've hit that big psychological level. This would be the next area of resistance for me, 100.5. And of course, you've got the high there, 101.5. Those are some areas to look into. But for the DXY, it would be very nice if we can get a pullback into this area, which is 98.9. You can probably call it 99 to be honest. But yeah, a pullback into that area would suffice. Of course, I was looking for a much deeper pullback yesterday. We didn't see any signs of that really. But because we are a bit stretched, we have seen more momentum. This is a nice area of consolidation in the 4-hour chart as well. I think there's a good chance we can see a pullback into this area and more upside. I think keeping it relatively simple, a push back to the swing high there makes the most sense. I have talked about a couple of areas of resistance we can target, but I think that's if you're trying to push the trade a bit further, maybe leave some positions to continue if you're trading a stop or something like that. But in terms of a high probability opportunity, if we can see a bit of retracement, come back and retest the high here around 99, I think that's a great place to be looking for entries and the next leg to the upside. So very bullish there for the DXY. Euro, pretty much the inverse of that. Very lovely move to the downside. A lot of momentum. I was talking about pullback to this area here yesterday. That would have been a nice place to short from, but of course, literally no pullback at all. Had a slight pullback here, I believe, on stream. We were here yesterday, so very slight pullback. But no, the market kept falling. Not to worry, a new setup does form. We didn't get this one, which would have been a nice one, but I do not mind the retest of this low. Basically, the same setup as the DXY, coming back to retest support there, which of course lines up with the level we just broke through here as well, which is why I said I wasn't looking to short directly. So if I can see Euro USD pull back into this area, looking for the next lower high, we've got one over there, second over there, third, and that's the short I am interested in. And we'll see how far we can take this. If I do expand to like the monthly chart, we have recently broke out of a massive range over here. And I do think this is an area which price can come back and retest. And that would be around the 1.121 area, let's say. So that could be like a longer term target to work to. I wouldn't say we're guaranteed, or we're never guaranteed. I wouldn't say we're likely, very likely to get there. It's just more of a level which price is broken through. We could come back and retest. So that could be an area to keep in mind. But if I was to get into a trade for Euro, I probably would not be looking to hold it that far. Maybe if things go very well, I might leave a small position to run. But I think if I was to get a pullback from here, I think the target I would just be aiming for, just keeping it simple back to the low. And then maybe I'll see where we can go from there. But yeah, we are looking pretty bearish right now. I do think more downside is likely. It's just, can we get a pullback? I think we will now. The market is quite stretched, but I like it because it's a lot of momentum. It's not like a slow grind lower like we had here. It was like a very slow push down, so it was always very wishy-washy. But now we've got that kind of heavy hitting bearish move, which tells us, okay, the bears are in charge now. Let's look for continuations in that direction. And in terms of pound USD, so pound USD pretty bearish on. I am as well, looking for a lot more downside for this one. Really lovely head and shoulder pattern. We have kind of hit my area of interest, which was this support level here. That's the level I said price is likely to get to. There is a high over here, but it's more so just keeping an eye on those levels rather than outright targeting them, because I still kind of deem this a bit counter trend. But yeah, very, very strong move to the downside yesterday. Of course, I was looking for a bigger pullback, just the same as Euro USD, back into areas like this. The area of supply we had never happened. Didn't even see a pullback to this area, or just missed it actually. So this could be an area on the lower time frames to keep an eye on, but price was far too bearish for that as well. So the next area of interest, just like Euro, is the retest of the prior low. If we could see a pullback there, I think that would suffice as a healthy place to start to look to short again. Maybe even a slightly deeper pullback to go and test that area. That could be nice as well. But anywhere around the 1.335 to 1.34 area, to me, is a healthy place for a short, even if we get a pullback all the way up here. But we can probably keep that to one side for now, because that would be a hell of a pullback. But yeah, Euro's pound still looking pretty bearish, very commanding bearish leg, of course, breaking structure. I would be very surprised, very shocked to see the market suddenly turn bullish from here. So I'm pretty bearish and looking for more downside. We might still come a little bit lower into the 1.315 area to test. So still a bit more downside in the cards. Again, I'm not necessarily looking at a big trend forming here. So I'm being a little bit more cautious with targets with these shorting opportunities, but they're definitely bearish right now. So the plan is kind of find some pullbacks and kind of keep shorting. Dollar CAD, lovely push to the upside, breaking structure there. Very commanding break. And we had some support over here, which was acting as resistance. Price was really struggling to break through that. And then yesterday we finally got the green light, the big break of that level. So now to me, this looks like a big triple bottom to a degree. And now we've kind of got the reversal, the break of structure, the breakout, the consolidation. So I'm looking at something like this and a continuation higher. There's a big consolidation up here, which I think would be a healthy target. That's where a lot of supply came from, a lot of bearish momentum. I think price has a good chance to come back and retest that and maybe see another bearish leg potentially. So that could be where we are heading towards. But for now, since we're back above water again, back above resistance, this is of course going to be turned support as well. Brief consolidation there, slight area of demand to help us out. Let's see if we can get retests and some buys there. Again, lovely bullish leg, a lot of momentum there. The plan is kind of look for a pullback and a continuation of that. So the trade is pretty much the same with all the USD pairs. There's been a lot of dollar strength in the market recently. You're basically looking to do two things. You're either looking to fade that momentum, so basically short this or buy euro, buy pound, or you're looking for pullbacks of that momentum and looking to continue it. Yeah, I'm looking for the latter. I'm looking for the continuation because I think that's where the bigger move is still likely to be. In terms of Aussie dollar, we have finally broken out the channel, or let's hope I haven't jinxed it. To me, this looks like a commanding break, especially because of how the daily candle is closed. So here, of course, you got your ascending channel, and now to me that looks like a confirmed breakout. Reason being is because all the previous breakouts, we had a lot of wicks here, so that kind of just showed us there was a bit of a fake out. Now we've got a very commanding close. So of course, the next candle could still potentially close back inside the range. That could happen too. But I'm going to take this as a breakout for now, and if it's proven incorrect, it's proven incorrect. But it looks like a breakout. So what that tells me is that there's still a lot more downside to be had. I'm personally looking at least 0.63 for a push for Aussie dollar. So I think there's a lot more downside for this one. Therefore, shorting opportunities look really, really good. I think this is a nice area to keep in mind. Not only is it a nice area of supply, but you got the retest of the low of the channel. I think that would be a smart place for a retest. And looking for some more downside, you got support here to watch out for as well. Actually, you can drag that across to this area. So 0.638, I think, is the next big level to target locking gains. But yeah, I'm expecting a lot more downside here for Aussie dollar as well. Just looking for a pullback, and that would make sense to me. Maybe it's a little bit of a shallow pullback, probably would drop to like an hourly chart or maybe even 30-minute to trade it. But I do still see Aussie dollar falling. And New Zealand dollar looks like that's broken out the channel as well. So if I whip out the old channel, to me, it looks like price is broken out of that as well. Again, with that daily candle closure. Now, yeah, it's not as commanding as Aussie dollar, so I would say that one looks a lot more attractive to trade. Also, you got support not too far away, so in terms of risk to reward, you're not looking too great with this one because you got support right next to you. Whereas these Aussie, you got a bit of a gap to trade, especially if you can drop to the lower time frames. You can really take advantage of that. So New Zealand dollar, pretty bearish. I do think we'll keep falling for this one, at least to 0.585 there. We'll see where price goes after that. I mean, after all, this is like a big consolidation, really. So if price does break out of that, it could even start a bit of a bearish trend there too. So I'll keep note of that. I'm not really seeing much of an opportunity, to be honest. I think if you are going to drop right to the lower time frames, there might be something like this for a short. But I would be a little bit cautious just because support's not too far away. You even got support right here to your left as well. So I strongly think Aussie's the cleaner pair, but I do think this is likely to keep falling as well. And gold, so of course gold was pretty bearish. The strength with USD did have a part to play with that. We actually just missed my support level actually. I was looking for a trade idea on this area. I've been talking about this level for quite some time actually. I said if price can get here, I'll look for a retest for a buy. And you can see we only just about missed that. Not quite enough energy to get there. But I think, again, if still price can get there, it's still a valid place for a buy. I like how kind of stretched we are a little bit. We've been falling for quite a while. So to me, that still looks like a healthy place for a buy. Also, the area below us, down over here, I still think that's a nice place for a buy as well. Very strong reaction. If price can return there, I think that's a great place to be looking to take some longs as well. But for me, gold is still flat. It's still just sideways, not doing anything really. Of course, the higher time frame trend is very, very bullish. So I do think we can see a lot more upside long term still. But we have to clear resistance. We have to break to the upside if that's going to really get going. This is the all-important resistance we do need to clear at 34.29. But besides from that, it is a very sideways market. So the plan is don't get involved in these areas. Wait for price to be at the limits, the highs or the lows, and find opportunities at those areas. So like I said, not too far away from that area. Keep an eye for a bounce. And even this area here as well. Keep an eye for a bounce. But yeah, keeping gold very simple. Just trading what we're seeing, which is basically a range. And not trying to overcomplicate it or do more. Silver, on the other hand, is very interesting. Trading at a really big level. I do think price can see a bounce here. You can see very strong resistance here. Around 37.147. Looks like price is slightly breaking below. But there's still a lot of wicks here. So if price does recover, I'll be back to looking for buys. And technically speaking, this is just a big level, a big area of consolidation. So, you know, price doesn't necessarily have to retest the high perfectly and continue to the upside from there. It can come in 50% of the way before pushing up. This whole area is an area of demand, which gave us this big break to the upside. So this whole area could be generally an area of support. So somewhere within this 37, 36 area, I'm looking for buys. The important thing is how the price stacks up, how the candlesticks stack up. At the moment, momentum is still looking pretty bearish, and I'm not seeing enough rejection to get involved in a buy. But I am very interested with the buys here for silver. I do think there's a lot more upside. I also keep a close eye on this level here as well. Again, very strong level of resistance. We did break out of that a few weeks back. We haven't actually had a retest of that level, so maybe we could see a situation where price is attracted to that level for a retest if this area doesn't hold. But for now, coming back to a big consolidation, we'll keep a close eye for some buying opportunities because I'm still very bullish in silver, just no entry signal. So yeah, that's kind of where I'm at in terms of USD. Very, very, very bullish, must say. Very, very bullish. Of course, gold and silver's had a bit of a reaction to that, and other metals as well. But yeah, the way I see it, more USD to continue. Anyway, where was I? CS integrated, still bullish at the XY. That will break 100 today. Not surprised if it goes to 101.2. Okay, tomorrow NFP and PLI. Yeah, that is true. Still got NFP to go. Still holding position as of outside the noise. Okay, top sells for Euro Pound. NZD and Aussie. Nice, good going. If healthy pullback to 99.5 will add more buy positions. Nice. Yeah, I'm pretty much in the same boat as well. Expecting a lot more upside too. I think that was a very commanding move after the interest rates yesterday. I do think more upside is likely as well. I'm just hoping to see if we can get a pullback, really. Because there's a world where we kind of just keep flying. And of course, NFP tomorrow too. Danny, good morning. Hope you're doing good. Yep, I just went through gold. Can you explain why you say it's bearish? Well, I didn't really say it's bearish. I was basically just talking about the momentum, like at the moment right now. But I'm not bearish on gold, and I don't think I said it's bearish. If I did say it's bearish, it's because I was talking about the current momentum. That's the only bearish thing about gold, really. Other than that, it's a sideways market, and other than that, it's a long-term bullish market. So, yeah, if I said bearish, it was probably just talking about that move there. Other than that, it's just a consolidating market in a larger bullish trend. Morning to Shepo, welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. Welcome. TP for DXY 100.5. Yeah, I can see price getting there. Maybe even 101 as well. Good morning, MJ. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're doing good. What's up? Gold looks good for shorts, intraday setups through though in and out. Okay. Yeah, maybe. I'm not a big fan. I mean, I can see the momentum there, so you're basically just looking for a pullback of this leg and a more short. So I can agree with that, to be fair. Like you just said, in and out. Yeah. Still, I'm not a big fan of the placement just because it's very choppy market. I'll be a much bigger fan if this was like in a larger downtrend or even just a counter trend as well. It doesn't even have to be in a larger downtrend, just kind of trending environments. Just because things are quite choppy, it sometimes can be quite deceiving. But if you are looking very short term, I think you can find a trade there. Let me see if I can drop to like an hourly chart. You know, pull back into this kind of area, into that consolidation. If we can start to slow down, maybe see some more rejection, that could end up being a nice short. I wouldn't even probably look to short it all the way to the lows here. I would probably just look probably halfway, take my profit and run, just because there's no consistency to the market. I know we've had a pretty decent trend here, but we're coming towards potentially the end of that trend, you know, coming into support where we might bounce or just go for a bit of a consolidation. So I would be careful at these prices. But I can see where your idea comes from. It's just I would very, very much stress the point of being in and out. Poppy bought USD at HEMT. It's going well so far. Okay, we'll take a look at USD. No problem. Yusuf, my man. Welcome to the stream. Hope you're well. I am doing good. Thank you for asking. There'll be a heavy pullback for DXY at least until 100.5. Yeah, there is a lot of momentum in the market. I think I can see a world where that happens as well. I mean, I'm just hoping for a pullback for trading purposes, not necessarily because I think it will happen. I'm looking for a pullback at least like 99, 98.8 before I take a buy, because at the end of the day, all I'm looking for is good setups. If it doesn't, it doesn't. But if it can get there, I'm definitely all over that for a buy, or like shorts in euro, shorts in pound. Maybe even shorts in Aussie dollar as well, but actually maybe even longs on dollar Swiss, which I'll need to take a look at. But again, it's the same idea really. But yeah, if we can get a pullback there, great. Of course, it may not happen. And if it doesn't happen, on to the next setup. Alfie, NZUSD daily 4 hour, 1 hour. Okay, we can take a look at that. It's a very, very choppy market, but I'll go through that. So let me go through so I don't miss the pairs I'm supposed to go through. Okay, USD for Poppy. Take a mental note of that. New Zealand dollar, we'll take a look as well. A lot of short-term gold, people. Interesting. Not a big fan of gold. I know there's a bit of momentum there yesterday, but we're coming into like the low of the range, so it's not the optimal time to get into a trade. Not that you can't find a good trade there. It's just I would be a little bit more apprehensive getting to shorts for gold now, but I'll go take a look at that in a bit more detail. So gold, Euro NZD, we'll take a look at NZD USD as well. Yusuf, thoughts on gold in the 15, forming a nice structure. Okay, we'll take a look. Pound, yen, euro, Aussie. Okay, a bunch of pairs. I'm just going to start going through them. No problem, Danny, happy to help. Ogpak, what's up? What time frame do you use for candlestick entry confirmation? You can use any time frame. I use 4 hour, but it's not because it's the best time frame for candlesticks. It's just because that's kind of the time frame I like in terms of its timings and stuff. You can use hourly, 50-minute chart, daily. Typically, the higher the time frame, the more powerful the pattern because it's more trustworthy. But you can use it pretty much at any time frame. Again, candlestick patterns are good for entry confirmations, not as on its own. It's not okay. Oh, look, there's a bearish engulfing candle. Let me short. There needs to be a lot of analysis before that. The bearish engulfing candle is just to trigger you into the position, but you can use it on any time frame. Anyway, let's go for USD. And then if we look at gold intraday, a lot of people talking about gold intraday. We can go through that, and then other pairs as well. Pound yen was requested, New Zealand dollar as well. So with USD, Poppy said you got into a buy, if I remember correctly. Yes, you did. At 8 GMT, is going well so far. So I'm guessing you probably got into a long here somewhere, because I'm UTC +1. GMT is going to be an hour behind. So I think that would be after this candle. But yeah, looking good. What's the plan for the trade? Targets in mind? How is it? You're just going to manage it and see how it goes? What's the plan? Because of course the buy here, I would say momentum has shifted from being bullish over here to being bearish. So the buys here, you have to be on your toes a little bit, because I wouldn't be too surprised to see us kind of just roll back over again. The market has been creating higher highs. Now suddenly we've been creating lower highs and lower lows as well. And especially as we come back into consolidation like this could be an area which a lot of sellers do jump back into the market. So I would be kind of keeping a watchful eye, because it's not like momentum's like overwhelming in your favor or there's a trend there. Let me look at the higher time frames. I mean, there's some nice areas below us, but I wouldn't say we're necessarily testing them. So yeah, as we do come back into kind of like this region here, I would be on my toes, because that's an area where we might start to do something like that. But you managed to catch the low of that move there, so congrats on that. But yeah, I'd be wary around 1.94. Anywhere within there, I could see a lower high forming and potentially us coming back down again. But yeah, definitely nice bounce there off the low. In terms of gold. So yeah, gold has been forming some nice structure in terms of lower lows and lower highs. But it's just an arranging market here, so I wouldn't get too excited. If I can just get rid of that. This is a daily chart. This is all support here. So I wouldn't want to keep shorting gold. Not to say you can't, and not to say the market won't keep selling off. Again, trading's all about just making educated guesses here. yes, the momentum is strong. Yes, dollar's still strong as well, so that should help gold keep falling still. But again, just in terms of just support and resistance, I don't want to be selling into support, neither do I want to be buying into resistance. And this is certainly a level of support here as well. So I'd be quite cautious about shorting gold, unless you're kind of in it for like a scalp or something. You can get away with that. If you're looking to swing it for the day, I think that could be a little bit maybe for like a couple of hours you could get away with that. A few hours you could get away with that. But for like the rest of the day, I would be a bit cautious of that. Because of where we're trading, a lot of rejection, a lot of wicks to our left, and all price is doing is just fluctuating, just ranging. So yes, there is some nice bearish structure. The momentum has been picking up quite well, but we've just seen that just to get to the other end of the range. We just tested the highs, which gave us a bit of a bullish trend, and a smash into resistance. We come back down. We've literally done the same thing here as well. We come back into support. We might bounce to the upside, maybe we break out, we don't know. But now we're back in the area which has a higher probability of us turning around again. So I wouldn't really be interested in shorting gold at these prices. As I keep saying, in the middle of the range is not really where I want to be operating at all. If this was like in a larger range, larger trend, great. At least we've got trending conditions. Right now, there is no trending conditions. So dropping onto like a 15-minute chart, I think, again, if you're going to look for a short that could last maybe like 2, 3, 4 hours, you can get away with it, because, price can definitely see some downside over the course of 2, 3, 4 hours. This looks like a correction to me. So I would say we might get something like this, but I wouldn't even probably try and push it to the lows there. I'd be quite cautious of that, because something like this could happen in a higher low as we do bounce off that daily support level. So yes, gold has formed some nice bearish structure in the lower time frames. Lovely trend there. That was a pretty nice sell-off there. Looks like we are coming back to retest some of that structure now. This was the last range we had before the big drop. And, anywhere within here could be a very nice place to sell. And I do agree on the lower time frames, that does look like a good place to sell. But again, I would be very in and out of this trade, or just keeping a very watchful eye. Maybe I will try and push the trade far, but as soon as I see some red flags of momentum shifting against me, I'm out of there. So I don't mind the shorts, to be honest. I can get why you're looking to short. There's momentum there. It makes a lot of sense. But yeah, I wouldn't try and hold that for the rest of the day. I think maybe 2, 3, 4 hours, maybe for like the US session. You might get a nice drop on the US session and then be done there. Yeah. Of course, we could get the breakout. Support doesn't hold all the time, so price can very much get the breakout there. But that's a lower probability idea, really. Looking for price to continue to break through that range. I'd rather wait for the breakout and then look for continuations. So that's my kind of warning or worry with gold right now, just because of where we're trading and how we're trading as well. In terms of New Zealand dollar, as I mentioned with this one, pretty much just a ranging market, really. Looks like we are breaking out of these ascending channels, so I do think more downside is likely. But I'm not really seeing much of an opportunity to short it. Where I'm going to place my entries, where I'm going to place my stops. I mean, that looks like the best area, but it's not great. It's not an area which I'll be jumping at, trying to get involved at. I do think New Zealand dollar is likely to head lower. There's a pretty big level here to our left I'll probably watch out for. I think that could be a nice support level for a buy, actually. If we could push there, that might turn into a nice place for a reversal. So yeah, New Zealand dollar, I think short's your best bet for now. Your dollar still looks really strong. It still looks like it's likely to continue. So a pair like New Zealand dollar, I still do see falling. It's not optimal to be getting into some shorts right now, just because of the location. But if you are, I think that's the best opportunity you can find. A retest of 0.596 and some more downside there. And you've got a bunch of targets to tick off along the way as well. So yeah, a retest of that area looks the best. But again, I'm not too excited about it, to be honest. Okay, so where was I? Okay, so next up, I'll go through pound yen. Yeah, we'll go through pound yen next. We'll take a look at euro Aussie and oil as well. Poppy gold react to the 100 MA on the daily. I wanted to buy it, but I didn't have enough in my account to trade it safely. Fair enough. Yeah, gold is a big boy, so you need to make sure that you can stomach the lot sizes there with gold, and the pip counts. But yeah, I mean, again, the funny thing is, like, yes, your gold's going to take a bit more money to trade, but you can still make just as much money on euro dollar or pound USD. So pips are pips, pips are pips at the end of the day. And yes, gold moves a bit faster than all those other currencies, but gold does have its moments where it chops around as well. So if you're not going to trade gold, it's literally not the end of the world. There are other markets which will still provide you some really nice gains as well. Okay, so I'll go through GJ, Euro Aussie, and oil. I can see some more requests coming in. I will get to those guys. Okay, so we'll go through pound yen. So yeah, pound yen. Yen pairs are quite interesting. Of course, we did have some news with the yen, and we've had a very bullish reaction on the yen pairs, but of course the yen itself has been had a bearish reaction to the news, so the yen looks pretty weak. It looks like the yen is still set to continue. I still do see more downside for the yen itself. We can actually, let's take a look at the yen basket quickly, then we'll go back to pound yen afterwards. But the yen to me looks pretty bearish. This is the reaction we had to the news. Look at that for a candle. Beautiful candle. Nice wick to the upside. Strong close. It looks to me that momentum is just continuing in this bearish trend. I really like the wicks here on the daily chart as well. It's like price has been trying to push higher, but every time just failing to do so. I know this candle's still open. Still got 11 hours left before it does close. But I would anticipate this wick forming and holding and us continuing lower. So in my book, I would suggest that the yen basket has a high chance of taking out this low here and continuing lower. You got support to your left here, you got support down here. I would say that price is likely to come and test those areas. So yeah, pretty bearish here with with the yen, I would say. We've tried to rally, completely failed, formed a lot of resistance there. We're likely to drop. So taking that information into pound yen, you're pretty much expecting the opposite. And for the most part, we are seeing the opposite. You can see a lot of wicks here to the downside. It looks like the price is trying to rally. The only weird thing, or the only difficult thing here with pound yen, is that we are still stuck at resistance. So it's a little bit of like, you're kind of expecting, well, if you were to buy pound yen, it's either you're just looking for like a short-term buy, or you're trying to hold expecting a breakout. I said that I like the opportunity if price can give us the breakout, and then we can look for opportunities afterwards. So waiting for the breakout, looking for the retest, then buys after that. That'll be the the simple trade. At the moment, we are still just about holding to this trend line. So this is where I would expect us to be bullish from, because if we start breaking through the trend line, well, we'll probably start heading lower. If you start breaking through some of these lows, you'll probably look at a reversal. So this is kind of make or break here with pound yen. We need to really respect this if we are going to keep this trend alive. So with pound yen, I do think we can see some more upside. A really nice rejection with all those wicks. Support is definitely holding. But I would suggest that if you were to buy here, this is kind of your target. This is where you're expecting price to get to. Maybe even resistance here to your left as well. So the risk reward isn't fantastic because of the situation you're in there. Probably looking at a 1-to-1 just to get back to the highs there, which again is not the worst trade in the world. 1-to-1, I would still say is makes sense, especially if you're going to average your risk reward higher than the 1-to-1. This trade might be a 1-to-1, but your next one could be a 1-to-3 or 1-to-4, so it will compensate. But yeah, so that's kind of an idea which does make sense based on where we're trading as well. I would rather wait for the break and retest, because not only probably I could get a better risk to reward, but it's a trade which I think can trend well. The next big target after that is all the way over here. And I'm not saying that I'll probably look to hold the trade all the way over there, but you know, if a trend gets going, you never know, and you can get a decent trading stop loss, there could be a really big buy there. So I like that. I like that possibility there with pound yen. So long term, looking for buys. It looks like we're holding to the trend line. We're doing a very good job at it. So I think we can see a rally. Of course, taking in the information from the JPY basket as well. That looks like it's set to have another drop. That should give pound yen the needed boost to see some upside as well. So yeah, pound yen, I do think we can rally there for a little bit. Euro Aussie. This one looks like it's slowly getting ready to turn, but it's lacking momentum. If we could just pick up momentum, I would be looking for shorts on this one, because for the longest time I've been speaking about push to this low here. I still think that's the likely move, the bigger move for it. We've had this big drop, correction. Now we've had this kind of slow, grindy drop there. So momentum is not quite there right now. This looks like an okay place for a short, but I wouldn't be looking for a big swing like this. If price was to get there, I would be looking for like a short-term reaction and then just going with the flow there. It might turn to be something like this. It might turn into be a huge move, or maybe just a push back into support. But because of how grindy we are and quite choppy, it's not like we've had a lovely flush to the downside. Yes, we've been putting in lower highs, but altogether we are still quite corrective. So this looks like a nice place for a short, especially because of the momentum that came from there. So I think that would be a nice place to have a stab at the market, but I'll be pretty prepared to cut the trade early because I'm not expecting much. Maybe it does turn into a big trade. So, if momentum picks up well, leave positions to run. If you're seeing wicks form, support forming, things are not looking too good, you can always take partial or close the trade completely. But that looks like a smart area to trade, especially if you're intraday as well. If you're looking for a trade for the day for Euro, Aussie, I don't expect us to get there today or maybe even tomorrow. But when we do get there, if we do get there, I think that could be a nice trade for a day there. So healthy area of supply. You got previous lower highs. It makes sense that another one could form and we could see another reaction. So I would keep an eye on 1.785. In terms of oil's been super, super bullish recently. Lovely move to the upside. Running out of steam a little bit now, but the key thing for oil is that we are respecting that weekly level of support on the higher time frames, which is what's keeping us bullish. So as you can see, massive support once, twice, a third time, and as you can see, a fourth, we are holding this as support. So I do think price is likely to come back and test resistance, up here. That's where I do think price long term can make a move to, and the backing of the support level really does play into that. So going forward with oil, very, very bullish. Nice double bottom there as well. Very, very strong impulse. We've broken through structure quite nicely. Taking out this high, taking out that high there as well. So in my book, I'll be looking at a pullback of this move here. And I'd say this area looks like a nice space for a buy. So if you could see something like that, I think that could end up being a nice buy there, high or low. And then we're on our way, and you got resistance all the way up there to target. So yeah, I'm very, very bullish on oil. We're holding 65, which is the big significant level in the higher time frame. I said if we hold that, I'm bullish on the pair. That's exactly what price is doing. So I am bullish on the pair. And now in terms of opportunities, of course, not looking to buy just yet. We just wiped out some highs there. Now it's about looking for a pullback and a continuation. Maybe even a breaking retest of this level, but I would wait for a slightly bigger breakout before looking for the retest. The breakout's a bit too shallow for me, so I would look for a deeper correction like so. But yeah, in terms of opportunity, looking for buys for oil, only bullish, expecting more upside. So yeah, hopefully that made some sense there. We could take a look at Euro Yen next. Pound CAD we can take a look as well. Yeah, that's true as well, DMART. Monthly candle closing today. We can actually take a look at some monthly candles later in the stream and see how they're looking. That is actually a good point, because that could give us some some insight into August. Oh, you said the wrong ticker. Bought Euro Aussie. I mean, yeah, Euro Aussie, same situation as well. Okay, Euro Aussie, I get it. I get Euro Aussie a bit more, because price did come back into support, and we're still kind of respecting that area quite well. You got a support there on your left. Price did dip below it slightly, but looks like we're still just about holding. So yeah, I like Euro Aussie a little bit better in terms of the buy. Nice area of demand to our left as well. You can kind of see that's where momentum is rocketed from. So I like the buy there for Euro Aussie. I'm still kind of bearish because we're seeing lower highs here. We've kind of reversed that structure, but I think it's a smart place for a buy. It makes a lot more sense in Euro Aussie. And your take profit is 1.78374. 374, so that's around here somewhere. Yeah, I mean, I think that's a smart place for a target as well, because that's where I would suggest to sell from. So if you could lock in some gains around that area, I think that'd be a smart place to do so. And maybe even look for some shorts whilst you're at it too. So yeah, I much prefer the Euro Aussie buy than Euro NZD. MJ BTC, yes, we can have a look at that one as well. Okay, so let me go through Euro Yen, Pound CAD, BTC, and we can throw in New Zealand CAD trade was yesterday. I hit TP last night. Nice, congrats, Poppy. Were you selling New Zealand CAD? Because I'm pretty sure New Zealand CAD had a big tumble yesterday. It was a little bit bullish this morning. Okay, we'll take a look at Euro Pound as well, Danrick. Okay, so let me go for Euro Yen first. So, yeah, the Yen pair's strong reaction this morning. I was keeping an eye on Euro Yen. Very, very strong reaction. I'm still looking to buy this one, but it's just a bit awkward. I know we've had a very, very big candle there. Of course, the news had a big part to play. We did just about test this consolidation to our left. So it's a nice retest of that area, but I wasn't a fan of the entry. I mean, I like the momentum. I like the candlestick close, but I just don't like the whole setup of it. I wanted us to develop for a little bit longer, especially when the markets had such a bullish rally here. I still do expect higher price for Euro Yen, looking for a push into 175. So I don't need to panic. Still more upside to be taken advantage of in trade. But yeah, I'm just not a big fan of the entry. It's just like the obvious nature of it, the early entry there. Yes, it came back to retest a nice area, but I kind of want us to develop a little bit more. Maybe come back for a second test. That is an awful drawing. Let's do that again. Let's use this. Come back for a second test. Maybe sweep the lows and then be on our way. That's something that could interest me a bit more. The aggressive nature of it, I like it. I like the entry. Just I don't like the setup and how we have formed. We are coming back into some resistance consolidation, which might give us a bit of a sell-off. But hey, momentum is looking pretty strong. I do think yen weakness can continue, so maybe it does push. But yeah, just not a big fan of the entry, really. It's just one drop and then a huge reaction. I don't like it. I like things to kind of slow down, maybe form a low, break the low, retest the low for like a double bottom. I quite like those. So yeah, I'm going to keep a watchful eye of Euro Yen. Still very bullish from the pair. I'm still looking for a push back to 175, but not a fan of how we've shaped up. We are coming back into resistance now, so maybe there could be some sells to take it back down again. If price does start to slow down here, start to show some rejection, there could be a short there. Not something I'm interested in, but maybe there could be some selling opportunities there as well. But yeah, I'm just going to stick with the buys and see if we can come back for a retest or a deeper pullback before I do get long. Okay, so we'll go through Pound CAD next, and then we'll take a look at BTC. So Pound CAD was pretty bearish yesterday. Nice push to the downside. Looks like we're sort of breaking through this floor. I wouldn't say we kind of confirmed breakthrough, but it looks like we're getting there. Again, with the higher time frames, I'm looking at this as a big kind of one last anticlimactic move to the upside before we do turn around. So I do think longer term, we are getting ready for a push back into this level of support and probably further as well. I do think support here will clear. So the plan very much is looking for the break of that area, probably the retest of it, and then some more downside. And that's the opportunity I quite like. At the moment, we're just quite flat, really. Still trading in area of support. Still could actually be a nice place for a buy, but I'm not convinced. Pound USD is looking very bearish, and Pound USD and Pound CAD are very similar pairs. So if Pound USD looks like it's still likely to head lower, Pound CAD probably does that as well. We might have a brief bounce here, but I do think price is likely to break through. And this is really where I do see Pound CAD ending up at 1.8. So yeah, wait for us to break out of this noise, pull back, look for some lower highs after that. That's really the play I'm interested in. And then we'll go from there. But it's not my favorite pair. I'd rather trade Pound USD. It looks a lot clearer, a lot cleaner. So I'd rather put my eggs in that basket. But it's a pair I'm bearish on. And I do think there will be more downside. And I'm looking at 1.8 as a target. But yeah, Pound USD, much better opportunity. As for BTC, yeah, more wicks to the downside, which I quite like. As I've said, all price is doing is ranging. I said yesterday, if we can see another push back into this area, that would be a nice place for a buy. And yeah, another nice reaction. That's all we got. Not trying to overcomplicate it or, reinvent the wheel, guys. If a market is ranging, there's, two options: waiting for price to break out, or excuse me, or shorting the highs or buying the lows. That's the only two options you have, really, to trade it. So if you're going to trade within the range, you're looking to see if you can wait for price to get to the low, take some buys off that area. Or if you're waiting to short it, waiting for price to get to the high and take some shorts off that area. And of course, in this case, that's all we did. Very nice bounce there. But now it's up to what price wants to do next. Do we get back to the high? Maybe. We'll see what type of price action we get when we get there. Maybe we come right back down again. Of course, BTC as a whole is a pretty bullish market right now. Lovely break to the upside. We just created new all-time highs, and now we're flat. So, yeah, I would still fancy a continuation, but it's nothing I would get too excited about, and something I'd wait to get the confirmation, as in a strong candle closure outside the range to give me the green light for the buys. Then yeah, we can look to either buy the breakouts or wait for pullbacks and buy the retest. But yeah, BTC to me still a very bullish market. No signs of reversal yet, so that's why I'm still just leaning into the bullish side of things, because there's no sign not to, really. So yeah, still looking to buy, but as long as we're in the range, just buy low, sell high until proven otherwise. Really, that's the play that makes sense to me. Okay, so we'll go through Euro Pound next. Yes, we had a look at GJ. Let me know if you caught that. If not, I can go through it again. Yusuf, shorting Euro at current price. Okay, we can take a look at that. I'm assuming you mean at the 50-minute time frame as well. But yeah, we can take a look at that. JJ, buys on GJ, nice, looking to break high. Yeah, I do agree. It looks like it is likely to break higher. I do think we can see more upside for GJ. Yen is looking pretty weak. Pound, not really strong necessarily, but a weak yen will do the job, really. And it looks like we're getting that anyway. Either kind of need $100 to trade gold. I mean, if you really want to trade gold, I guess. I mean, I don't really see the appeal. I mean, of course, gold's a great pair to a great market trade. I trade gold myself too. But if I didn't have the cash to trade gold, I would just stick with my FX pairs and the pairs that I'm trading. It's just one market, and I don't think gold's looking particularly good right now. Of course, maybe you got a setup that's good for you. It just doesn't look good to me. That's all. But yeah, if that's the case, I'll just trade other FX markets. Unless again you really want to trade gold, then yeah, fair enough. Okay, so let's go through Euro Pound. So Euro Pound, not my favorite pair recently, but nice sell off. Price looks like it's really struggling at resistance here. We've had a bit of a drop this week. Now the question is, do we keep falling? I would still be looking for shorts here. So I quite like the price action. We've had a lovely uptrend. Now it looks like price is starting to top out. We've had a very aggressive turnaround. And I would be looking at a push back into resistance for a short. So a pullback of this area and a push down. I would suggest that's probably around the 50, maybe 0.618 even actually. And that to me looks like a nice short. We've got the break of structure. Price is broken through the low here. Price got back into major resistance, rejected that. We've got a strong reaction, strong turnaround. So I would be looking at a low high and a push back down to lows. So I quite like what I'm seeing here for Euro Pound. I wouldn't be looking for anything crazy. I'm not too sure about the longer term move for Euro Pound. And zoom out and look at the bigger picture. I don't really know what the market is doing apart from just ranging here. So I'd be very, very kind of just short term play-ish with Euro Pound and not trying to stay in the trade for too long. But to me, this uptrend has met its match. Very nice reversal there. So I quite like the shorts around 0.869. And then targets probably just back into the prior low. Keep it relatively simple. Okay, so Yusuf talked about shorts on Euro current price. We can go through that next. There was no news yesterday. I was looking to short UJ, and all of a sudden it became bullish. Yeah, the news can play a big role like that. Yeah, always keep an eye on the news, especially if you're intraday as well, because you're just going to be more exposed to the news, tighter stop losses, bigger lot sizes. You want to be careful, what you're buying or selling into. So always be aware of the news. You can put it part of the routine really. Every morning before you do get to the charts, you just have a quick scan of the news for the day, and that can take you less than 5 minutes really. And at least at that point, you're aware of any news announcements for the day, and what pairs to keep in mind and maybe what pairs to stay away. Okay, so we'll go through Euro USD next. If I have missed our pair, let me know. Someone's requested something and I haven't got to it yet, let me know. Selling, I seem to have got my trade links back, basically started leaving my trades alone. Kept second guessing and pulled to main trades early. Yeah. Again, that's normal, I guess, especially when you've been away from the market for a while. You're not going to be perfect coming back into the market either. Second guessing, pulling trades early, is a common practice of kind of just a lack of confidence in your ability, and especially when you've been away for a while. I know if I was to take multiple months off, I would probably need to get my confidence back up into the market and get into the rhythm of things, because trading, as much as skill set, it's also a matter of kind of just performance and kind of a rhythm with the market as well. And if you do spend a long time away, you will lose that. So you do need to build that back up. And pulling trades early, prime example of that. So just get up to speed. You will make those mistakes. I think just don't be too harsh on yourself, because it's going to happen. But as the weeks progress, you get back into the feel of things, get back into the rhythm, more importantly, and hopefully you start doing that a lot less. Anyway, so Euro USD shorts current price. Well, first of all, I'm waiting for a much bigger pullback, but that's more like an hourly 4-hour trade. So I would personally be waiting for a pullback, but I guess I'm trading on a higher time frame to you, so that would be something else. In terms of the current price, we are looking pretty bearish here on the 15. So momentum's looking pretty good. Looks like we just came back to retest the low here, just about. And looks like potentially we could go for another sell-off. So, I mean, I quite like it. I'm not sure if I would want to be entering now, though, because we've had the initial reaction from the area, and now we're kind of just slowly drooping to the downside. Not to say that we can't keep falling, but momentum's starting to dry. So I would like it if price was actually to rally back into that area again and then show some more signs of rejection. Then I hop in off the back of that, because the idea is that I'm hopping into some new momentum that's just entered the market again. And hopefully that momentum is the momentum that can give us the drop lower. Right now, we're kind of just slowly falling. And I'm kind of just hoping price will continue rather than, okay, it's likely to continue. But in terms of the location, I do agree, especially in the 15-minute chart. Coming back to retest the very nice area of supply. You know, lovely consolidation here. We just spit out a lot of momentum to the downside. Prices are retesting that. Great place to be looking to short, especially when you got a pretty aggressive bearish trend in front of you. So yeah, I do agree. Nice place for a short. I probably would want to push up first before entering. If you already entered the trade, maybe like after the first rejection, that's fine as well. But now after seeing we're slowing down, I would be a little bit more cautious. So ideally that would be nice, especially probably get a better entry too. So in terms of this being like a 1 to 1.5, maybe back to the lows. From there, it could be like a 1 to 3 potentially. So you could double your return on that just by waiting for the pullback, which of course may not happen as well. There's that too. But yeah, Euro USD, I actually do like the sells here at current price. You know, momentum is very bearish right now. The market is quite aggressively falling. Dollar looks super bullish as well. So being aggressive too makes sense. And we have pulled back into a nice area, so I don't really see too much wrong with the shorts there. I probably wouldn't be looking for anything more than a push into the low here. So that's all I'll be looking for with the trade, but I think that makes perfect sense. No problem, MJ. Happy to help. Yeah, Forex Factory is a good place to keep track of the news. Forex Factory, MyFX Street, MyFX Book, MyFX Street, no, FX. Is it MyFX Street or FX Street? I haven't used it in ages, and I feel I'm confusing it with MyFX Book. Yeah, FX Street, not my FX Street. I was confused with my FX Book. FX Street, my FX Book. There's other pages as well. But yeah, just keep up to date with a economic calendar. One of those three will do the job. There's others as well if you want to check them out. But yeah, I would say just quick look in the morning so you're up to date with everything for the day. That way you're not kind of surprised with news and stuff because you're prepared for it. Because the worst thing is to be oblivious to the news, especially if you like just taking a trade and suddenly boom, something crazy happens. You know, then it's kind of like, you know, it was pretty much avoidable, but you could get burnt quite badly, slippage. You know, instead of maybe you're risking 1% of the trade, you could end up losing 3 or 4, and that is very, very annoying. So always be aware, especially if you're intraday trading. Yeah, I mean, it depends on the type of trade you are. I'm very, very technical. I do keep tabs on fundamentals a little bit, but my decision making in terms of the trades I'm taking is almost purely technical. May the pips be with you. That's a good one. Get on the shirt as well. What's up, Alex? Welcome to the stream. Hope you are doing good. Welcome. Okay, I'm going to go through some of the yen pairs. I'm going to go through the rest of them because I went through GJ and Euro yen as well. I don't think I've gone through dollar yen yet. I'll go through the rest of them. because I think they're quite interesting, especially with the news that just happened. Philip, what's up? Yes, yep, we'll take a look at Swiss yen as well. Just about to go through the bunch of yen pairs. So that fits right into it, no problemo. In fact, let's start with Swiss yen. I mean, Swiss yen's a funny one because, of course, it's been very, very bullish, just created all-time highs. Yeah, I think we're still in need of a pretty big pullback, to be honest. But we're not getting that just yet. So with Swiss yen, can we be bullish at this point? I think that's a good question as well. Can we be bullish at this point? Because of course the market's been trending forever. It's at all-time highs. Can we still be being bullish? Yes, you can. I wouldn't be looking for any crazy moves because we've already seen one. So if I was bullish, it'd be like a short-term move, like maybe for a trade for the rest of the week and I'm out. Because I'm not trying to overstay my welcome. The market's already extremely stretched, already extremely bullish, all-time highs, of course. I don't see us kind of having another crazy move. Of course, that could happen. I wouldn't necessarily bank on that happening. What I could bank on is maybe a push back to highs. I think that makes sense there, and then I'm out the trade. So Swiss yen looks pretty bullish to me. We did have this consolidation, which price did manage to break to the downside. So we had this consolidation, which we spent quite a few days moving sideways. We did eventually break to the downside. Now it looks like price is coming back for the retest of that area. Let's see if it is successful or not. Do we successfully retest this area and continue down? Or do we close back within the range? Well, if that's the case, this will be a big fake out. Could look for a retest and probably new highs at that point and more upside. At least a push back to resistance. So, yeah, that's what I'm seeing really with Swiss yen. It's a market that's been flying or all-time highs, create new highs past this point here. Now, with this bullish run, is this just a pullback for us to continue higher? Or is this price putting a top into reverse? I would suggest if we can respect this area, it could be the reversal, or at least a bigger retracement anyway. If price does successfully get back above that area, it's probably just a pullback for us to keep pushing higher. And at that point, I'd be looking at something like this and a continuation with at least a pushback to highs in mind. So yeah, Swiss yen, can you be bullish from this point? Yes, absolutely. The trend is up, momentum's up. It makes sense to be bullish actually. Just not looking for big moves, taking in context what the market is doing. This is not a newly trend that's just started. We're not coming from a big level of support or anything. We're at all-time highs. We're completely stretched here. So yes, the market could always see more upside. The trend could always go a little bit further. So you need to show respect to that. But if you are going to be taking buys here, you want to keep it short and sweet. If you can get it back to the highs here, you've done a really good job. And I'll be looking at probably cashing out. Again, nothing wrong with leaving small positions to run because you never know. Maybe a big move does happen. But I would be fully prepared to see price return and respect that level and go against me. So I would suggest if this is going to be bullish, I'll wait to see if we can break back above this area. That would be my green light for more upside. If price does start to respect this area as resistance and finds it really hard to break through, a lot of wicks, rejection, maybe we do roll over, maybe put our first lower high in. Maybe we do go for a bit of a sell-off. So personally, I can see both scenarios happening. I would kind of prefer the shorts a lot more because I think that's where the big move's going to be because we're quite stretched. So I do expect us to take a breather and kind of relax ourselves and see some more downside because we're quite stretched. So that's why I think the bigger move will be. So if price can really show some healthy rejection here, I wouldn't mind jumping into a short. But the rejection has to be very strong because we just saw extremely strong rejection to the downside there. So I need to see something equivalent to that in this area for me to be convinced that, okay, this is not going to continue higher. We are just going to top out and continue lower. I'm finding it difficult to see that happening, especially looking into the JPY basket, which to me looks pretty bearish. And I wouldn't be surprised if it does keep falling. Big rejection to resistance there. Strong close this morning. I think there's a good chance we end up back at support there at 62.73. So if the yen is going to be continuously weak, it's going to be difficult for Swiss yen to turn around. But we'll see. We shall see. Okay, I'll take a look at another yen pair, and then I'll go take a look at oil and US 30 for Alex. Thoughts on UJ and GJ on the 15? Okay, no problem. We can take a look at that. Yeah, the yen pairs have been very interesting. I think USD pairs just continue what they were doing yesterday, so it's not like a big shock. But yeah, yen pairs finally seeing a bit of strength. Okay, we'll go take a look at CAD yen, and then I'll go through US 30 and oil. No problem, Philip. Happy to help. Happy to help. So CAD yen. If I could type, that would be nice. Thank you. So yeah, CAD yen with this one looking bullish, of course. Another yen pair. We just had a look at the yen basket. That looks like it's likely to drop. So again, remember, inverse correlation here. If the yen basket is going to fall, there's a pretty good chance, 8-9 times out of 10, that you're going to see the yen pairs push up. Some yen pairs might struggle, depending if the currency is partnered with, might be quite strong. But in CAD yen's case, CAD hasn't been, well, it has been quite strong at times, but starting to weaken a little bit. But yeah, CAD yen is seeing some upside here. And if the yen is going to continue to drop there, it should probably take us back to the high. Now, the way I look at CAD yen is that we've had a lovely bearish trend. It's formed a nice bottom here. It looks like we kind of reversed that and now seeing a pretty confident uptrend. We've broken out this channel here, and I do see price coming back to retest resistance up at 110 really. So in my book, I think we're still likely to continue to the upside. It's just very, very choppy and kind of difficult to kind of get a clear-cut trade here because of just how flat we've been. But I do think we're likely to break out higher. So there's kind of two ways to look at this. Either waiting for price to kind of break out. Actually, no. I'll wait for price to break here. If price could break out there and look for some type of retest afterwards, or price makes its way back into support and you can take some lows off that support, take some buys off that support, sorry. If price can push back into this area, that could be a smart place for a buy, and we can go from there. Stop losses underneath and so on and so forth. But yeah, the way I see it, CAD yen's still very bullish, likely to go higher. Trend is still very much up. At the moment, we've got a consolidation, which I do expect to break out to the upside. It may be in the process of doing that now. So if that's the case, this is the next best opportunity on the pair. But yeah, quite bullish here for CAD yen. I still do see more upside. So looking across the board, yen pairs still look pretty bullish to me. And especially with the yen showing all that weakness. Okay, so we'll take a quick look at oil and US 30. So as I said, for oil, we're doing a very good job at respecting weekly support. As you can see here, massive reaction, big push to the upside. We tested that area again, nice reaction, big push to the upside. Did it again over there. Briefly resistance as well, and now as you can see, holding as support. So because of that, you can see the moves we've had from this area. It's not a small move, it's pretty big, significant moves from this area. So I do think price can come back and return to test resistance here at 76, 78. So I'm pretty bullish on oil. And in terms of the next opportunity, because we've had that initial reaction, we've got the double bottom in play at the moment. We've just gone and broken through some structure there as well. Now I'm looking at some pullbacks, retest, some consolidation. This is a brief area of supply. I think that could be a smart place for a buy. And then we can look to target the highs over here. And I think that could be a nice trade, nice swing trade for the week. Like I said, I do think price can go a lot further, but yeah, we might take a couple of weeks to get there. Maybe that's not so much the move you're looking for. But oil, very, very bullish. I wouldn't look for a breaking retest of these areas just yet. I need a much bigger breakout than that before I can look for a retest of those areas. But what I can say is that we are looking really bullish here. We've got some smart areas for some buys. Just looking for the next higher low. And away we go. And as for US 30, this too has been, well, it has been bullish, but we had a bit of a reaction recently. Price did make its way into a massive level of resistance, so I don't blame it. As you can see, big reaction once, big reaction twice, and a big, well, it's not really a big reaction, it's just another reaction a third time. So I've said with US 30 is that if price is going to break through this area, well, it's simple. We break through, we look for some more pullbacks, and we just keep buying, because at that point I expect US 30 to follow what NAS is doing, what S&P is doing, which is just slowly chugging away to the upside, creating high after high after high. Eventually they're going to have a pretty big pullback, but who knows when that's going to happen. US 30 is struggling, I must say, and it makes sense. If you look to our left, this is a pretty big level of resistance, so kind of makes sense. But we haven't necessarily dropped hard or fallen crazy. It's just very, very flat. So I think this is still a smart place for a buy now for US 30, right back at the lows, kind of away from all the noise. That to me stands out and makes sense for a buy. I know we've got this really big wick there. Would I expect price to suddenly rally now? Not really. I kind of view this as a big range. And yeah, I'll probably include that with it as well. So this is just very, very choppy price action to me. Not seeing much momentum, rejecting major resistance. If we are still going to buy, we don't want to be buying directly into resistance. We want to be buying far away from it. And this area would suffice. It's far enough where I would be happy to buy, but not too far where it's price is reverse. This is still a healthy level of support. It makes sense to see a bit of reaction from that same area. So pretty bullish on US 30 still. We are coming from major resistance, so I would kind of wait for a deeper move down before looking to buy. But this area does make sense to me. And of course, if we break the highs, we know what we're looking for. So yeah, hopefully that made sense on the Dow Jones. Okay, so next up we can take a look at UJ and GJ in the 15 for Yusuf. Pound USD, Andre, no problemo, my man. We'll take a look at that as well. US 30 went up yesterday. My account for stocks went up quite a lot yesterday. Maybe S&P 500 and NAS. I'm pretty sure NAS was bullish yesterday, or maybe not actually. Okay, S&P was bullish. And NAS... Okay, NAS was bullish. I thought I was seeing things there for a second. No, yeah, NAS was bullish. So NAS was bullish yesterday. S&P was bullish yesterday. But looks like US 30 wasn't. That was the odd one out. So that's probably the reason why your account went up for stocks, because S&P and NAS, they're doing their bit. US 30 sector isn't performing as well. Hasn't been performing as well for quite some time actually. But yeah, they're quite bullish, so there's a reason. But yeah, you would expect US 30 to be up as well, especially off news. But I think there's something else that's happened, which is why US 30 hasn't gone up and has actually gone down. I haven't read into it, so I wouldn't know. But yeah, that is quite interesting. So in terms of dollar yen, let's take a look at this guy. So yeah, very, very bullish, breaking through the highs. Looking pretty good, I must say. Dollar yen looking pretty good. If I expand, I'm on the daily. If I expand to the weekly chart, there is a big level of resistance above us over here, which is where I'm looking for price to get to. So 150, 1.5 is kind of my target for dollar yen. And from that point, That's when to keep a close eye because some big selling opportunities could come into play. We've got one high, second high. I could see a third lower high forming here and possibly another big push down. So that's what I'm expecting price to get to. We're not quite there yet. We are picking up some higher highs and higher lows now. Price is starting to actually trend to some degree here. We are putting in higher highs and higher lows. We just made a new high there. So going forward with dollar yen, I would just be looking at more pullbacks and more buys. So, it's not the cleanest of trends. Yeah, no area really stands out to me. I like this demand area here. Do we pull back that far? I don't think we do. But that would be a nice area for a buy. Possibly the retest here, but I kind of want price to pull away a little bit further before I even consider that for a buy. But that could also be an area to keep an eye on. That would be the preferred area. Really strong area of demand, gave us that big push. So ideally would like that retest. If we do continue further, then this would look really good too. This breakout's not big enough for me to get excited just yet for that level. But possibly could be in the next few candles. But yeah, dollar yen, I would just be looking to buy. I do think there's more upside, especially in the 15-minute chart. You've got pure bullish momentum there. I would just be looking to follow that basically and see if I can ride it back to highs at 151. Then maybe there's some reverse opportunities there as well. But dollar yen for me, very, very, very bullish. Okay, so we'll take a look at GJ next on the 15 as well. Then we'll take a look at pound USD too. What's up, Annie? Welcome. Gold closes weekly and monthly candle above 3,300. Do you think it's going to touch 3,450 again in August? Good question. I'll go take a look at it. I haven't actually looked at the monthly candle yet, see how it's shaping up. But I will go have a dive into that. Probably Meta did well yesterday, bought it at 120 when it dipped. Now it dominates my account for stocks. Yeah, makes me feel quite fair enough. Yeah, Meta's the big boy, and you bought well, to be fair. Okay, Tisholo, we'll take a look at gold for you as well. Waiting for PMI later for some pullback on DXY and put on some more buys. Smart. I like it. It's integrated. Hopefully we do get a nice pullback going. I'm definitely interested in one. Okay, let's head over to GJ. So GJ, this is what I'm looking at. 15-minute, I know it's going to look horrendous. I'm sure there's going to be short-term opportunities there. Some quick sells, quick buys here. I can see that, but I see it's also going to be horrendous as well. But anyway, GJ, it's been in a slow uptrend. We're kind of stuck between a rock and a hard place. We've got really significant resistance above us on the daily chart, which price has been trying to break through the past few days now. We do have this trend line, which is still keeping us bullish just about. Numerous higher lows stacking up. And again, price is testing that same trend line there as well. If price can be consistent here, I do think we can see a bit of a rally and price can continue higher. I like the idea of this break and retest opportunity there as well. That's really what I've been waiting for on pound yen. If price can break the highs, pull back, retest it, then find the buy. That's really what I'm looking for. Next target after that would be the high all the way up there. So I'm very, very bullish on pound yen. I can see us flying in the near future. However, we do need to break out the consolidation and actually see more upside. As for the 15-minute chart, well, for the 15, if I just clear all this, start fresh. 15-minute chart, we've just come back into some more resistance, really. So it's actually not a bad place for a sell. I probably wouldn't look for anything crazy. I think targets that low or this low and probably call it quits after that, to be honest. maybe the low here, but I wouldn't take it that far. It's kind of similar to what we did over here. A lot of resistance build up, price eventually rejected, then see some nice downside. I see us kind of doing something similar there as well. A lot of resistance in this area, another nice rejection, back into support, that's your first target, back into support, that's your second target. So pound yen, short-term sales look good. I think that's kind of the idea you're looking at for Yusuf, so I can get behind that. Waiting for price to approach significant resistance and taking some quick shorts off the back of that. I think that's a nice kind of scalping idea for pound yen. No kind of swing trade or anything special, but I can see a lot of resistance building up and it makes sense, and I'm seeing rejection as well. So downside does look likely there for pound yen on the 4-hour chart. So it's not your free-flowing market, your trending market. You're looking for pullbacks and follow momentum. Absolutely not. This is just, okay, price is very choppy, very sideways. It's creating some really good resistance. If I can see some healthy rejection, it's a good chance the price does reject that high and does come a lot lower. And you've got numerous areas to target there. So I think that does make sense. We'll go to pound USD next, and then we'll take a look at that gold idea for Annie on the higher time frames. We'll look at gold as well for Tisholo as well. 400%. Wow, nice. I should be happy. I just wish my profits were more diverse. Yeah, I feel about Poppy, you're never happy, to be honest. You're always kind of like, yeah, I did good here, but I wish I did better. Which, of course, who doesn't want to do better? But at the same time, you did well to pick that buy as well, because you bought at a very good time too. There'd be many people who would have bought Meta at the highs, and wouldn't make nearly the amount of return on that. It's all relative, really, at the end of the day. But you did well to pick the buys there, so I'll definitely pat yourself on the back for that. Okay, so let's go for pound USD, and then we'll take a look at gold as well. So yeah, pound USD, just look at pound there dropping like it's hot right now. So yeah, pound very, very weak, dollar very strong. Recipe for disaster here for pound USD, but yeah, it was a lovely head and shoulder we put in. Lovely head and shoulder. There's your left, there's your head, there's your right shoulder, there's your neckline. We smashed through the neckline there, and I'll be expecting a lot more downside now for pound USD. So there's our bearish leg, a lot of momentum in the leg as well. I've marked out a few areas which we can look for the retest of. First area being the retest of the support level here. So just the break and retest of the low. We've got a supply zone just above that. That could be a nice place for a retest. And you've got the supply zone right at the start of the move, which would be a great place to short as well. Just, I'm not too sure if we get a pullback there. These two look a little bit more likely. So yeah, wait and see if we can get a pullback into those areas before looking to take any shorts. That would be the preferred area. Of course, right now we're just continuing to fall, so you gotta let the market do what it's got to do. Unless you're gonna drop to like a lower time frame, 15 5-minute chart, there could be some nice opportunities there. Nice quick day trades to ride that momentum. If you're looking for something a bit more of a swing, you're gonna have to be patient. You're gonna have to wait for those pullbacks. But yeah, pound USD looking extremely bearish. I do expect more downside here. It would be nice to retest 1.335, 1.34, and looking to trade it into 1.315 for a target. So yeah, pretty bearish on pound USD. Let's take a look at gold on the higher time frames. Move the drawings out the way. Oh, wow. So you're about to get another monthly candle close, which is the almost exact copy and paste of the previous month's candle close of June. And for the past 4 months, so April, May, June, and July, you've got successive wicks to the upside there. So we're clearly pausing. Of course, we've known that. You don't necessarily need to look at the monthly chart to know that, because we've just been sideways. But it does show a lot of resistance here. So if price is going to continue, it's going to take quite a heck of a breakout for us to clear resistance here. But from a monthly chart perspective, resistance is forming. I wouldn't be surprised if August does open up and we do see a bit of a stab lower for August. I'm not saying we have to close lower, but I do think there's a good chance we do see a wick to the downside. As for the weekly chart, weekly, again, a lot of resistance in this area. Apart from these two candlesticks here, we failed to kind of close above this level, 33.60. That's held as resistance as well. Kind of like a weird head and shoulder pattern too. So to me, it does look like potentially gold could roll over a little bit further as well. Maybe go and test this area here. But it is fluctuating, so I wouldn't say we have to go and test it now. We might push up again first, then take a test, or we might range for another 2-3 weeks and then drop. So a lot can happen in that time. I'm not suggesting now we fall, but what I can see is that there's a lot of resistance here, which we're really struggling to break through. So yeah, I wouldn't be surprised if we do have a bit of a stab lower. For me, gold is still very much one-way street. It's still very, very bullish. So even if we do stab lower, I'll still be looking for price to eventually return to the upside. But yeah, what was your question, Annie? The weekly monthly candle closed below 3,300. Okay, let me mark 3,300. Do you think it's gonna touch 34.50 again? So 34.50 will be the highs. I'm not sure about the significance of 3,300. I don't know. Is it the support level there you're talking about? I'm not too sure. Too sure why. Or do you just mean the low of the candle on the monthly chart? But will price return back to 34.50? Maybe not straight away. Of course, eventually, I think we will. I think the trend has still got steam and still likely to continue higher. But as I was just saying, I think we probably will go for a bit of a drop first before we do see some more upside. So I can see that happening. We do have support to contend with though, so we do need to break through that. And the funny part is we could still continue to range for a few weeks before we actually do see the drop as well. So do you take that into consideration? But no, I think that the plan still stays the same with me as well. Support there. Looking to see what price can do at both these areas. Still looking for a buy. If I do see price break through this area, then of course this there I'm focusing on. Still looking for the higher time frame trend to continue. Of course, we've seen a lot of rejection here. I do fancy a bit of a drop anyway. So maybe this is the area which will give us the bigger buy. But yeah, I do think eventually we will return to 34.50. But maybe we do go for a bit of a sell-off beforehand. I think the trend is still bullish. There's no kind of major signs of rejection on the higher time frames. Yes, weekly, a lot of wicks there. I do think we'll go for a bit of a sell-off, but the bigger picture is we're just kind of consolidating. So although we are showing quite a lot of rejection to the upside of those wicks, if we do push back into support and do the same thing, we're back at square one. Price is just fluctuating. And the monthly chart is basically just dojis, which represent indecision really. So a lot of wicks to the upside, so I do think we will push down. But long term, I think we will reverse. So yes and no. I think yes in terms of the short term. I do think there's a bit of room to the downside for gold. But eventually, I think the gold buys will kick in at some point. But good point though, good point. No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. OGPAC, can euro yen and pound yen go different directions? Yes, they can. It's quite rare, but they can. For whatever reason, euro might be very, very weak one day or for a week, and pound might be a little bit stronger for whatever reason as well. So that will cause difference in euro yen and pound yen. Of course, they're both accompanied with the yen. And the yen is normally the driving force, really. If yen is strong or if yen is weak, it's normally the driving force between the two, which is why they're quite correlated. But yeah, they can. I wouldn't bank on it, so I wouldn't be short euro yen and buying pound yen. So I wouldn't be banking on it like in that perspective. But I would be aware that okay, if I'm buying euro yen, I would expect pound yen to move my direction, but it's not guaranteed. So they can do, but I wouldn't bank on it. Start selling NZUSD on the 15, look like head and shoulder just before your stream started, and then at TP. Nice, go on, Poppy. Looks like you are coming back into a bit of rhythm. Pavinator, what's up? Happy Thursday. Yeah, Aussie dollar did drop further down. Looks like more downturn to come. I agree. I think I'll wait for the buy entry confluence on the low next. What price is that? Are you talking about the? Is that just the low in general, or is there like a support? Because I remember you said you were looking to buy from around 0.62, I believe. Is that still the case, or do you have another level you're looking at? No problem, Dima. Happy to help. If you guys are enjoying the stream, by the way, please be sure to drop a like and subscribe to the channel. It does really help out, and I do really appreciate that. So if you guys are enjoying the stream, finding it useful, informative, enjoying the content, drop a like. It does help promote the content or promotes the channel. So I do really appreciate that, guys. Hit the bell whilst you're at it as well, so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. If you haven't checked out Zenthrix as well, go and check out the Telegram. I have linked it early in the chat, but I can always drop it in the chat again. Check it out if you're interested, if you're looking to learn about AI and how it can help improve your trading, using it to develop tools, strategies, indicators, testing your own strategy, refining your own strategy as well, and a lot more. Do check it out. A lot of news and announcements to come from that project. So if you're interested in learning about that topic, make sure you head over and check out the Telegram. Hey, what's up, Lord? I'm back. Apologies, guys. I accidentally hit something with my mouse and I exited the stream there. That was weird. But I am back. Hopefully you guys can hear me as well. Let me check if my sound is good. Yep, I think it is. Apologies, guys. Just stepped away for a second. That was completely accidental. Anyway, where were we? Yeah, so what's up, Lord? Welcome to the stream. Hope you're good. A bit late, no problem. Better late than never. What pair was I supposed to go through? Poppy New Zealand dollar said you got a short there. We'll take a look at that one. I'm not too sure if I missed out someone else's pair. If I have missed out a pair, let me know. But I'll take a look at New Zealand dollar next. Then we shall go through the DAX for Adams. No problem. We can take a look at that. Refer to the weekend closing below 30 because it will create a down wick on the weekly. Oh, okay. Makes sense. So it could go up in upcoming weeks. Okay. Makes sense. No problem, Annie. I was wondering, I thought it was like a support level, but it makes sense now. Nice. I'm going full on bullish on the Hicks we're holding with risk off mentally. I'm agree. I'm very bullish on the dollar. I mean, I will keep things as they normally would be, but I can only see more upside. I can only see more upside for the dollar right now, but things can happen. News can happen, which can change things. The best trait for a trader is being flexible, in my opinion. That's the best trait for a trader. You don't want to be too stubborn with a direction. So if things change, I'll change with it. But in terms of my current analysis and looking at the markets, I can only see dollar buys right now. So unless something drastically changes, for the next few days, maybe even a couple of weeks, I'm looking for buys in the dollar and maybe some sells in euro, sells in pound, buys in dollar Swiss, maybe some buys in dollar CAD as well. Anyway, New Zealand dollar, you said you hopped into a short on that with Poppy on the 15. It is looking really good. Momentum's picking up. Well, not quite the lows yet, but I wouldn't be surprised if we get there in the next 3 or 4 candles, maybe even less. But yeah, looking pretty bearish, looking good. Of course, USD strength's really kicking in there. It's a nice downtrend. It looks like it's still got some juice left in it as well. I talked about the retest of this area, but not quite enough to even retest that. I mean, we still could, but looks like momentum's just really with the bears right now. So New Zealand dollar, we have snapped through that channel. I think that's the green light really to really get going now. We've been operating this channel for quite a while. We had the break of it. This looks like the retest of the channel. So as long as we can stay below the channel, I think that trend has still got a lot of room to push into and some more downside. I'd imagine you'll take profits probably at the low here. So 0.588 roughly, maybe around there. We've got support here too, especially trading on the 50-minute chart. But yeah, looking really bearish. In terms of the DAX, oh, missed the R. In terms of the DAX, yeah, the DAX is just flat right now. I mean, he did a good job at respecting this level as support, so well done to the DAX. It did really well at that, but we are looking quite flat, and I say that because we created all-time highs, but you can see we're kind of just looking lackluster. We're lacking momentum. It's not like price is now creating more higher highs, and we're breaking higher. If that's the case, the trend will still be healthy, but that's not what we're doing. We're really struggling at resistance here. If I drag this across, actually, you can see we've just been bashing our heads into that level and really struggling to break through. So maybe the DAX is getting ready for a bit of a retracement. And if that is the case, great. There could be some shorts. I probably wouldn't short the DAX until I see this support level break. So if that can break, that would be the green light to actually look for some shorts and take this lower, perhaps to push all the way down into this area. Yeah, that could be the play. I'd probably speak more about that when we get the breakout, just to gauge momentum and how we're looking. But I do believe the DAX is a bit stretched and does need a retracement. The fact that we are really failing at highs here is a big sign. So I do think the sells are looking big. We've really respected this area 4 times, 1, 2, 3, 4. I probably wouldn't keep buying off this now. Yes, if we get there again, there might be another pop off that level, but it's not like we're creating higher highs here. We're actually creating lower highs. So we're seeing price have a bounce from this area, but not go as far as the previous bounce it made. So we're seeing less energy, less buying pressure from that area. So I do think actually we're probably likely to break that support. Maybe one more bounce there, but I think eventually we'll break through. I think the bigger move could be with the shorts. Certainly if you get the breakout there, then yeah, look for a retest, lower high, maybe a big swing like that. And that way we get our retracement. But I'm not convinced with the buys anymore, with the DAX looking way too slow. So yeah, hopefully that made some sense. Drink for you is on the way, possibly. Make it with ice as well. Laura, look at GJ. Yes, sure thing. Short from 198.286 to 195. Okay, before I could look for longs. Okay, nice. We'll take a look. No problem. Cease integrated. TP back at 98.5. So now just how much can my luck push as well? Okay, yeah, fair enough. Yeah, I mean, I think that's the best way to do it. Kind of take every trade for what it is, because sometimes, yeah, a trade will get to you, take profit, and it's starting to look like it's slowing down. Yeah, it's probably time to close the trade, really. If your price might get to you, take profit, but it might actually smash right through. Momentum might be really aggressive, which is, I think, the situation you're in with the dollar right now. It probably does make sense to try and squeeze it for a little bit more as well. Normally, if that happens to me, so if I have a take profit and price like smash really aggressively through it, like what happened with Aussie Swiss early this year, that was a good example because we had some really aggressive news at the time. We had this move here, so my take profit was this wick here. Then we had a very aggressive move. I did take most of my profit here because it's still my take profit, but because it was so aggressive and a lot of markets were falling, yen pairs were falling at the time, Swiss pairs were falling, CAD pairs were falling, so it was really aggressive momentum at the time. So I did leave a bit to continue, then I eventually closed the rest. I think it was somewhere around here, after this big bullish candle was starting to come in, I started just closing the rest. But it managed to get me extra, probably like 50, 60 pips there, so actually a bit more than that. Just because of gauging the momentum. And of course, if something else was to happen, if price was to get to that area and we started throwing a lot of wicks here, yeah, I'm out. It's hit my target anyway, so there's no point. But yeah, I do agree with that. Kind of just listening to what the market's giving you and being flexible to it, because sometimes you can squeeze a little bit more. Anyway, what was I going to look at next? I completely forget. Was it GJ for Lauder? Was there one before that? No idea. I believe so. Yeah, I'll take a look at GJ again. If I have missed out a pair, let me know, but we'll go through GJ next. Not there yet, but looking good. Yeah, I trade. Nice. Cool. Looking good, Poppy. Looking good. The NZUSD short looks good. So, I like that. GU keeps melting down without me. Not happy at all. I agree. I'm in the same boat there as well. I had 2 zones marked out for GU. The first zone I probably wasn't even going to take a trade just because I don't think the ritual would look good. But I was looking at this area and that area. This area didn't even see retracement there. So now I've marked this out here as well. I mean, that's the thing with FX. Even when we're stretched, we do tend to pull back anyway. Every move, there's always a nice pullback to be had, especially GU. GU is kind of one of my better pairs because it does pull back very well, and GJ too. So hopefully it will come. If not, I'm sure there'll be another opportunity later down the road, but I get ya. I'd like to be in some shorts with this one too, especially with how the dollar's looking. Very, very nice stuff. Gold, okay, we can take a look. Appreciate it, Poppy. Yeah, I mean, it's just kind of just staying. It's only something I've been doing a lot recently. Last year, I didn't really do that too much in terms of, if price just hit my take profit, I'll just be out the trade. I wouldn't want to try and overstay on my welcome. But this year, I'm trying to focus on being a little bit more kind of flexible for each trade, because every trade is different. You have the same rules of why you get into a trade and the same kind of analysis for it, but every trade is different. You could take the same trade. One trade might run to like a 1 to 10 for whatever reason, and one trade might run to a 1 to 1, and then it turns back against you, and you're not necessarily not to know which one's going to be the 1 to 10 and which one's going to be the 1 to 1. So the idea is that you kind of want to take your profits when they're there, have targets in mind, of course, but be able to hold a little bit past that if things look good. If you're seeing crushing momentum, the chances are price is probably still going to keep going. So you want to leave yourself the opportunity to stay in it. And of course, if you're not seeing that, if you're seeing rejection, you're seeing price slowing down, well, price is at your take profit anyway. It's probably a good time to get out. But yeah, something I've been doing a bit more this year, and I'm going to keep doing more because it makes sense. Anyway, pound yen. So, Lauder, you said you're short on this one, but you're looking for buys later on. Was that the case? I'm short from 198.286. Trying to get it. Oh, almost had it. I mean, it's roughly around there. So you're short from 198.286 to 195.575. Okay, that's a pretty big move. That's not a small move. Before I can look for longs. Okay, so you're looking for a push into there before you can buy. Not too bad. I mean, it's a meaty move. I'm quite interested in where your stop loss is. I can imagine either it being just above the highs here, above the high there, or above the high there. I've got a feeling it's probably here. Which again makes sense. I did say actually before you were in the stream actually that this is a nice place to short because you're seeing so much rejection here. So I did say this is a nice place to short, and a stop loss over there would make sense, of course, because you don't want price to break the highs here. But I would probably look to search for such a big trade. The reason just because the market is quite tired. For number one, we're seeing a lot of wicks to the downside. If this was a more of an aggressive fall, sure, I can be a bit more confident and be a bit more confident with targets really. But because we've just been firing a lot of wicks here to the downside, to me it looks like a very kind of corrective move. And typically with corrective moves like this, I'm expecting us to do something like that. Of course, not guaranteed, not 100%. We could break lower, but that's just my expectation with pound yen. Agreed, I probably wouldn't look to buy here either because we are still running into some massive resistance on the daily chart. So that's the reason why I'm kind of waiting for price to break above the highs before a pullback. I still do have targets all the way over here, so I'm not really too bothered about jumping into buys yet because there's still a long way to go to get to my targets for pound yen, and I think there will be a good chance for a pullback somewhere along the way. So I'm not too fussed about jumping into anything straight away. But yeah, just because we're quite corrective, that's the only reason why I would be a little bit apprehensive about targets down there. I think if you can keep a watchful eye on the trade, probably some targets a little bit closer to home, I think could make sense. Even just partial targets to lock in some gains, or maybe just trail a stop loss, I think could be a good move. Price may get here, of course. We can't see into the future. Price may get there, but I'll just be quite careful at these areas here because we're still really struggling. It's a really corrective move. I wouldn't be surprised if something like that was to happen. And that way, at least you can probably still walk away with a small win. So I'll keep a watchful eye over that. No problem, Yusuf. Happy to help. But yeah, guys, we have come to the end of the stream. I hope you have all found the stream useful. I will be live again later today on Trader Nick's channel. So if you do want to see more of me today, head over to Nick's channel. Just Trader Nick. You can search it up. I'm sure you'll find it. And yeah, I'll be live with him in about an hour, 45 minutes or around then. I think the time's actually a little bit different now. But yeah, around then I'll be live. So check out his stream later today. If not, I'm live here again tomorrow. So if you want to see more of me, I'm live same time as always, 10 a.m. to 12 p.m. UK time. So if you're here, make sure you come in and come chat with us. But you guys, if you have enjoyed the stream, please be sure to drop a like before you do leave. It does really help out. Subscribe to the channel if you haven't done so already. And of course, hit the bell so you don't miss out on any streams or uploads in the future. Really appreciate all of you tuning in. Have a great day, guys, and I'll catch you all in the next stream.
Introducing Zenthrix AI-powered trading signals service. Tired of second-guessing your trades? Zenthrix AI scans the markets 24/7 with powerful, proven indicators built to give you clarity. You get 200 plus signals every day on 15-minute, 1-hour, 4-hour, and daily charts. We cover Forex, crypto, commodities, indices, and stocks, so you're covered no matter what you trade. And the best part, you get all this delivered 3 ways, every day. Web alerts give you fast, clean access right from your dashboard. Telegram delivers real-time entries, confidence levels, sentiment, and trade duration. And email gives you the full breakdown, including 2 profit target levels and deep market analysis. Just hold $5 worth of ZTR. See what you can achieve with powerful AI trading intelligence by Zenthrix. Try it now. And join our Telegram channel.